In this video, I'm going to show you what a pivot table is. I'm not going to talk too much about how we get to the pivot table or the finer details of how we use it. I just want to convey what it does before we go through all of the steps and explain how to create it and use it. So first of all, let's have a look at this data that's in front of us right now. I've got a very simple list where I've got region, quarter, product and sales. Let's say we wanted to know a bit more information about this list. For instance, I want to know how much money's worth of sales have been generated for each product. Well, without a pivot table, there are lots of ways I can achieve this, but it would involve some kind of maths, playing around with functions, maybe a little bit of manipulation of the list itself. Now, this is a pivot table. And look, I appreciate I've not really shown you how to get to this point or, why things work the way they work. And I don't want you to pay too much attention about what I'm doing over here. I want you to kind of focus on what the pivot table is building as I put it together. And subsequent videos, I'll explain the how in a bit more detail. So going back to the idea of I would like to know the total sales for each product, within a couple of drags in that pivot table, can you see I can very, very quickly and easily find, can you see for each individual product, what the total sales are for each product? And the benefit of a pivot table is I can then add in more information. So can you see this is now the product split down by the quarter of the year? Perhaps I don't want it that way. This is the product split down, can you see, by the region? So that's the total for that product, and then that total broken down per those regions. I could, if I wanted to, then also factor in, can you see the quarters along the top? So again, it all breaks down automatically for us. All of the grand totals and the subtotals automatically adjust. So in essence, what a pivot table is doing is taking a list like this, which could be very, very detailed, thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands of rows, and it allows you to effectively squash that information down into a nice, tight summary, but it's very ad hoc. We can play around with its layout, we can play around with the calculation very, very quick. So pivot tables are very much an ad hoc reporting tool for a list. So that is a bit about what a pivot table is within Excel.